Hello everyone, welcome to Best Solutions English classes. This is Pratibha Anand, your English teacher. In this video, I am going to explain active and passive voice. Before starting the rules, firstly we should know what is voice. The form of a verb that shows whether the subject of a sentence does an action or has an action done to it is called voice. मीन्स किसी वाक्य का कर्ता किसी काम को कर रहा है या फिर कर्ता के ऊपर कोई काम किया जा रहा है, ये हमें वॉइस के थ्रू क्लियर होता है. नाउ फर्स्टली वी टॉक अबाउट एक्टिव वॉइस. व्हेन द सब्जेक्ट ऑफ द सेंटेंस इज द डूअर ऑफ द एक्शन, so the verb is said to be in active voice. For example, the police officer caught the thief. In this sentence, subject of the sentence is the police officer and he is also the doer of the action, means उसने ही चोर को पकड़ा है. So the verb is said to be in active voice, means this is the active voice sentence. In the next example, my grandmother wrote a book. Again in this sentence, subject is the doer of an action. In passive voice, when the subject of the sentence is the receiver of the action, the verb is said to be in the passive voice. For example, the thief was caught by the police officer. In this sentence, the thief is the subject and he is the receiver of the action was caught. So the verb was caught is in passive voice. And in the next example, a book was written by my grandmother. In this sentence also was written is the passive voice verb and a book is the subject and is the receiver of that action. Here we should remember one point, that we can change a sentence into passive voice only if the sentence has a transitive verb. And what is transitive verb? That is a verb that an object after it. The object of the verb becomes its subject while changing sentences from the active to the passive voice. मीन्स एक्टिव से पैसिव वॉइस में कन्वर्ट करते समय किसी सेंटेंस को ऑब्जेक्ट का होना ज़रूरी है, उसी ऑब्जेक्ट को हम सब्जेक्ट के प्लेस पे रखते हैं. इफ़ द सब्जेक्ट ऑफ अ सेंटेंस इन द एक्टिव वॉइस इज़ अ प्रोनाउन, it changes its form in the object position as shown in the table below. The reverse is also true, that is, the pronoun in an object position also changes its form. Suppose if I is given at subject position, so when we will change the sentence into passive voice, I subject will be me at object position. In the same way, we will be us, you will be you, she will be her, they will be them, and it will be it. And again, when we will convert the same sentence into active voice, me will be I, us will be we at subject position, you will be you, her will be she, like this. We should remember some important rules for changing active voice into passive voice. For example, the object of the verb in the active voice becomes the subject of the verb in the passive voice. Second rule, put the suitable auxiliary verb. Third, change the verb into past participle of the verb. Means after auxiliary verb, it is used the third form of the verb. The preposition by is generally used before the doer of the action. Change the subject into object. Number 6. While changing the voice of a sentence, the tense remains the same. Means if the active voice sentence is given in present form, so we will change that same sentence into passive voice, but the tense will be in present. Seventh rule, there is no change in the articles. And eighth, the type of a sentence remains to same. The passive voice is formed with the suitable tense of the verb be followed by the past participle. मीन्स जब भी हम पैसिव वॉइस में सेंटेंस को कन्वर्ट करते हैं उस समय हम बी हेल्पिंग वर्ब का यूज़ करते हैं. एंड यू ऑल नो in present tense be form of verb is am are, and in past tense that will be was or were. Suppose one example I have given here. For example, simple present tense, I write a letter. In this sentence, I is the subject, write is verb first form, and a letter is an object. But when we will change this sentence into passive voice, it will be a letter is written by me. So in this sentence, now a letter that was an object, I have kept that object word at subject place, a letter. Is the be form of verb, and written is the past participle form of verb, or you can say verb third form. And after that I kept by plus object, means subject will be at object place, so that will be I will be me. After simple present tense, now we will see present continuous tense, means how we will change any sentence which is given in present continuous tense into passive voice. So the sentence is I am writing a letter, and when we will change this sentence into passive voice, it will be a letter is being written by me, because as you all know that object will be at subject place, so object is a letter, and I have used here a letter at subject place, so that will be a letter is being written. In this, a letter is a singular subject, so I have used here be form of verb, that is, and after that being will be used, because according to rule the tense remains the same either in active voice or in passive voice. So the sentence is in present continuous tense, so that will be in present continuous tense. So I have used here being for ing form of verb. Then according to next rule, in passive voice always used verb third form. So after being I have used here written, and then by, then subject will be object, so I will be me at object place. Now see the third subpart of present tense, that is present perfect tense. So in present perfect tense, the sentence is I have written a letter, and in passive voice it will be a letter has been written by me. Means the object a letter will be at subject place, and it is a singular subject now, so we will use has after a letter, and then been, and then after verb third form, that is written, and by, and then subject will be object, so I will be me. But if the subject is a plural word, so we will use have in place of has. Now see the fourth subpart of present tense, that is present perfect continuous tense. I want to mention here that the sentence given in present perfect continuous tense, it will not be changed into passive voice. So the example is given here, I have been writing a letter since morning. It will be remain in active voice. There will be no passive voice of this sentence. Now we will see simple past tense sentences, how we will change into active to passive. The example is I wrote a letter. In this sentence, wrote is the second form of verb, because the sentence is in simple past tense. And when we will change this sentence into passive voice, it will be a letter was written by me. Only one change will be here from simple present tense to simple past tense, passive voice sentence, that be form of verb will be changed. In present tense you have used is, am, are, be form. Now it will be was, because a letter is a singular subject, so we will write here after that was, be form of verb, then verb third form written, and then by, and then I subject will be me at the place of object. In past continuous tense, I was writing a letter. This sentence will be changed into passive voice, like a letter was being written by me. Means the object a letter will be used as subject place a letter, and then it is a singular subject, so verb be will be used here, that is was, and being, and then verb third form written, and then by, and then subject I will be me. So the sentence will be a letter was being written by me. In past perfect tense, an active voice sentence will be changed into passive voice, just like present perfect tense. Only one change will be here, that will be in place of has or have, we will use here past tense helping verb, that is had, and other changes will be same. So the sentence will be in passive voice, a letter had been written by me. There will be no passive voice sentence for past perfect continuous tense sentences. For example, I had been writing a letter since morning. This sentence is given in past perfect continuous tense, and it will be remain same in active voice. There will be no passive voice sentence for this sentence. Now see the third tense, that is future tense, and firstly we will see simple future tense. The example is given here, I shall write a letter, and we all know in simple future tense firstly comes subject, then shall or will according to the subject, then verb first form plus object. And when we will change this sentence into passive voice, the sentence will be a letter will be written by me, and in passive voice object will be at subject place, that is a letter, then will or shall will come according to the subject. And then we know this fact that in future tense we use after will or shall verb first form, but according to rule we will have to use here in passive voice verb third form. So we will place here after will be, and then we will write verb third form, that is written, and then by, and then subject will be object, that is me. So the sentence will be a letter will be written by me. Future continuous tense, you can only see the formation of the future continuous tense sentences in active voice, because there will be no passive voice sentences in future continuous tense. So the formation of the sentence in future continuous tense will be I shall be writing a letter, and here we will not change this sentence into passive voice. Now see the third subpart of future tense, that is future perfect tense. Firstly we will see formation of the sentence in future perfect tense. So it will be I shall have written a letter, means firstly we will use subject, then according to subject will or shall will come, then have, then verb third form plus object. But when we will change this active voice sentence into passive voice, we will make only one change, that is after will have we will place here been, that the sentence will be now a letter will have been written by me. So all other changes will be same, just like other tenses, means object will be at subject place, so a letter will come at subject place, then we will write will then have, then been, then verb third form, then by, then subject will be object, so I will be me in future perfect tense, and the subject, the sentence in passive voice will be a letter will have been written by me. At last, in future perfect continuous tense, there will be no passive voice sentences. Means the sentences will remain in active voice and there will be no change in passive voice sentences in future perfect continuous tense. So the sentence will be I shall have been writing a letter since morning. Means firstly we will place subject, then will or shall according to the subject, then have, then been plus verb first form plus ing plus object plus since or for. And the formation of this sentence will be in active voice. I shall have been writing a letter since morning. There will be no passive voice in future perfect continuous tense. I hope you clearly understood the topic active and passive verbs, and I tried to explain two different things in one video. That is, firstly I have explained all the translation rules of different tenses, then I have explained all the rules of changing active voice sentences into passive voice. If you are getting any problem, so you keep watching this video again and again, and all the concept will be clear to you. And if you like my video, please give your likes and comments.